Hello, this is Dr. Farman. I wanted to take a moment to discuss the feedback that I received from you all after the first exam. I apologize for the delay in getting this out to you. I've been a bit under. Um, I wanted you also to see what I see when I open the feedback, so that you know that I can't see who wrote what. I can only see the actual responses. So I have no idea who wrote this, nor am I interested in who wrote it. I'm interested in what you actually say. I'd like to thank the 4 people who completed the feedback. I wish more people had responded so we'd have more input, but this is what we received. First question asks, what about the course has been most interesting and enjoyable for you? The readings and discussion questions. The book is easy to follow. I like the brief summary of the theory included. It's a good reference to go back to. The discussion questions allow for personal examples, and in this way, it's easy to understand and to think about the theories in daily life, in everyday life, and their possible applications. Getting to learn about classmates' stories, experiences, and discussing the topic. Another person said learning about the different theorists. And then finally, it's so personal. It's like free therapy for us, and I love it. This online class is fun. The second question asks, what do you like least about the course? The first person said the group paper, since it's an online class, not knowing my partners will be reliable. I get that. It can be confusing taking 4 classes when to post an original discussion post and reply to others, and how many times by which deadline. So probably that we have to make 2 responses instead of just 1. Another person said, I like the course as it is. And then the last person said that I don't have enough time to fully engage in some of the discussions. The third question said, were there any things that you were expecting from the course that you are not getting? No, so far I'm really enjoying the class. Another person said, I thought the professor would respond more to students in discussions, not just a couple. When a student gets a response, then it motivates them for future posts. And then another person said no and no. And then finally, what suggestions do you have for the course? I.e., would you like to see changed or improved? The first person said, as is, the class is good. The group paper, although it makes me a little nervous, is an interesting experience for an online class, so I wouldn't change that. Another person said, probably less responses to discussion posts. And then the other 2 people, having videos with examples would be helpful. And then a clearer explanation of the written part of the exam. So these are all very good feedback. I want to go back and address a few of them, all right? Because most of it is positive, and I appreciate the positive feedback. I really can't do anything about the confusing. This one here is confusing about all of the classes. Just so you all know, the way that we design our courses for online classes is based on the standard that's in the industry. And the standard suggests that you should have 2 responses, 2 different days, and then 2 answers. I just didn't create that to be difficult. It's something that's taught when you're learning how to create an online class. So I'm not trying to be difficult for that. I think the other thing that's important to note is the reason that you have to respond by Tuesday with the answers is because if I've tried it in the past where I said, okay, you all just have to go on twice during the week and you get your grade, and as long as you go on twice and you respond to 2 peers, you're good. What students would do is they would wait till the end of the week to go on and answer the questions. That would then create an issue with people being able to respond to peers because there were no peers online to respond to. So I had to then move the requirement for answering the questions to earlier in the week, so that later in the week, students have someone to actually respond to and we have a conversation, because otherwise students will wait till the end of the week to try to respond and no conversation would happen. Everything would happen within like hours of the deadline. So that's why I have it spread out between Tuesday and Friday. I hope you understand that. Again, that's not me trying to be difficult. It's actually me having been responsive to other students in the past that I've taught these classes. And by the way, this is going on the 7th year that I've taught these classes in an online format. Question 3, the student said, I thought the professor would respond more to students in discussions, not just a couple. I think it's important to note that I do make a concerted effort to respond to at least 3. Typically, I respond to more like 7 or 8 students per discussion question. So question 1, question 2. And I also pay attention to who I'm responding to. So I make it a point to rotate through students. So you may find that I may respond to you 1 week, and then I may not respond to you for 2 weeks. But that's because it's not that I'm not reading your answers. I'm reading all of your answers. But some of the answers are the same or similar. So I'll respond to similar answers once or twice, and then you can see my responses to those types of answers. But also, I want to make sure that everyone hears from me at some point in the class. So I hope that's helpful in knowing why you don't see responses from me every week to your specific questions. But I do make it a point to respond to a number of questions every week for every question. The other piece of feedback that I wanted to respond to is having visuals, video examples that would be helpful. Over the time, I've attempted to add more video examples, and I will take that feedback and add more as we go to this class as well. That's not a problem, and that would be an easy fix. And then finally, a clearer explanation of the written part of the exam. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that all of the written parts of the exam are actually available. They've been available from the beginning of the class. So if you go to home, actually to content, you'll see each exam. So for exam 1, the study guide was there. There was an announcement on the home page with the link to that as well. If you go down to the first announcement, you would have seen that there. And then for the second exam, the same thing. You can already see the exam questions. The study guide is there. And for the third exam. My recommendation is that you complete these questions as we cover the chapters. So for example, we've already completed Horney's chapter, and we've already completed, or we're working on Allport's chapter now. So you should be completing those questions this week, so that when the exam arrives, you have those questions already prepared. And it's just a matter of studying the questions so that when the exam time comes, you can memorize them and you can write them from memory. Remember, the exams for this class are closed book. You're not to be using any notes or the book during the exam, so you should be learning this material as you're answering the exam. And it also helps with adhering to the time requirement for the exam because you've actually studied. So I'd like to thank everyone for those who participated in the feedback. I hope this response has been helpful. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always schedule an office hour appointment. Since I have you here, let me show you quickly how to do that. If you do not know, you can go to content, start here. There are a lot of ways to get it, but there's a video here showing you how to schedule a meeting. But you can also simply go to the syllabus and go to this link here, Dr. Farmer's office hours schedule. Click that, and it shows you my schedule for office hours for the week. You can move this arrow forward to a future date. Select the time you want, click on it, write your name, tell me what you want to meet about. You can make it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, and then schedule the meeting.